In this clip, Trump is hyping his meeting with Xi like it's the diplomatic event of the century, and the panel eats it up. We're talking massive exaggeration, zero pushback, and a whole lot of Trump the strategist mythology. Let's break down the real dynamics and why Putin is absolutely paying attention.
Trump rates meeting with China, Xi, 12 out of 10.
Nice.
Guys, it was that good on the meeting that took place, which is great, okay? The fact that they're having a meeting is incredible. Rob, can you go to the meeting when they're shaking hands and they're kind of first, you know, the is this it, the first time? Okay, this is when they just visit each other. I think this is 2 days ago. Go ahead, Rob, if you can play that clip. Go ahead.
The President of the People's Republic of China.
Look at that grip, Pat. Look at that grip. Oh, it's getting tighter.
Great pleasure to see you again. Good to see you again.
It's hurting my hand. It's hurting my
And we're
hand.
going to have a very successful meeting, I have no doubt. But he's a very tough negotiator. That's not good.
Not good.
You know what look he's giving? You know what?
She's giving or Trump?
She is giving a look like, oh my God, another American. Because you have to realize, for them, they're not a flattery community.
Oh, no.
They're not going to be like, honey, you did such a good job.
Thank you.
Straight A's, or you're fired as my son type of an environment, right?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he's on Air Force One, the famous office. I don't know why he always does this meeting
Right in that door.
Right by that door, yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
That's
He's
where it goes
asked about
down.
how the meeting went. Go ahead.
I think we've discussed mostly what we said, pretty comprehensive. We're going to issue a statement on some of the details. But overall, I guess on the scale of from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, I would say the meeting was a 12.
They move on to tariffs, fentanyl, soybeans, acting like Trump just scored historic wins. But China doesn't give up strategic ground out of good vibes. They give up nothing unless it benefits them long term. The panel ignores that completely.
I think it was a 12. I think very importantly, just the whole relationship is very, very important. And I think it was really good.
And especially coming on the heels of the...
Tom.
Well, I think what Trump is trying to do is get the deal done. And China is still going to be thinking long term. And on the other side of life, you have economy, and then you've got defense, and you've got little leaks coming out about China going to help Iran or something. So you have those little leaks coming out. So you see China's still playing this 3D chess, but I think the president made great progress economically. You had Besant over the week before, I believe they were in Malaysia, wherever it was. They were not in China, with the Chinese diplomats representing the economy. And I think that there's tremendous momentum that's coming along here. And I think we're about to hear about a giant soybean deal where China's going to buy a lot of soybean from U.S. farmers. So I think there's multi-points on this that are really good, that are going to move forward. And it's interesting. He says, look, now that we've met, now that we have some agreements, I'll take the tariffs back. Very simple. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to negotiate. And I like what we're hearing. But remember, China plays the long game. And so what you get over here, you got to keep an eye on them over there.
Yeah, so the decision was to lower the Chinese exports from 57 to 47%, which Trump said was because of Xi's commitment to decrease the flow of fentanyl. And on the topic about that, when they talk about the things that they agreed on, this and didn't agree on, this is the NBC News story. Fentanyl, Trump agreed, lowered the fentanyl tariffs on China 10 to 20%. Trump lowered fentanyl tariffs on China 10 to 20%, effective immediately. What? 10 from 20%, effective immediately. Marking total tariffs 47 to 50%. He trusts Xi will work very hard to stop fentanyl precursors. I think you're going to see a big difference. He said about the meeting with China. Rare earth minerals, which is what just Tom talked about. China imposed exports controls on rare earth for magnets and turbines and EVs. As a trade chip, Trump and Xi agreed to a 1-year reprieve, likely routinely extended. All of a rare earth has been settled, and that's for the world. So that's one. Soybeans, what Tom just talked about. Ukraine, U.S. and China will work together on Ukraine war. Ukraine came up very strongly. We talked about it for a long time. We're both going to work together to see if we can get something done. And then NVIDIA, no discussion on relaxing Blackwell chip export curbs. We're not talking about Blackwell chips. Trump said U.S. allows limited H20 GPU exports to China. So let me tell you what I think is going on here. You've probably heard when Trump makes a comment about Rubio. Rubio's got two big jobs right now. One of the jobs he's got is the job of Henry Kissinger, okay? And you'll hear Trump will say, I believe Rubio is better than Henry Kissinger by the time it's going to be done because Henry Kissinger used to leak. He was known as a leaker. He was known as a... You didn't hear that when he said... Rob, do you have that clip when he... You remember this clip I'm talking about, Rob?
Like tell everybody everything?
Yeah. Okay. So he calls... Go ahead, Tom.
He had two key contacts that we found out after he passed away with the New York Times. And he was a professional leaker, and he was a real son of a bitch on that end. He may have been a negotiator or a good Secretary of State, but the people in Washington, a lot of people say there was another part of Henry Kissinger that was all about himself, and he would leak things left and right.
Okay, so Trump calls him a leaker. I think this is it, yeah. Is it called him? There you go, exactly. This is a play to clip. This is him talking about Rubio.
We call it, we need that brain on occasion. We got to get Jared in here. We got to get a certain group of people, but Steve started this all by himself. I call him Henry Kissinger, who doesn't leak. Okay? Henry is a big leaker. He leaked.
Then they jump into this Kissinger-Rubio comparison, trying to make Rubio sound like some secret genius because Trump said his name. It's pure political hero worship. Meanwhile, they pitch Trump as if he's running triangular diplomacy on the level of Nixon or Bismarck.
So he's complimentary with Witkoff. He said similar things about Rubio as well. And so when you go back and think about what Kissinger did, Kissinger followed a guy whose name was Bismarck. Bismarck was the previous...
Otto von Bismarck?
Otto von Bismarck, previous
Back
chancellor of Germany.
Yeah.
The Second Reich, which sounds bad, but it's the, and so in the 1800s, he was dealing with, a handful of countries that he was always having issues with, and he was never the biggest. So you're dealing with Austria, you're dealing with Hungary, you're dealing with France, you're dealing with Italy, you're dealing with Russia, and he had this, triangular diplomacy that he would follow to have relationship. You always want, if you're the strongest, which America is, China's second, third is Russia. Triangular diplomacy is befriend this guy to eliminate this guy, okay? So meaning Trump tried really hard to get good with Putin, to build that relationship with Putin. But Putin didn't play ball with them.
Putin didn't play ball with them. They wrap it all in a dramatic geopolitical arc. Nixon, the gold standard, Cold War strategy, all to justify a handshake and a photo op. And then the big ending. Trump's moves are supposedly isolating Putin, and Putin is watching every second. Not because Trump won anything, but because Russia hates U.S.-China cooperation.
So then what does Trump do? If you take Trump, U.S., Russia, and Ukraine, who would that be in triangular diplomacy? Who should he get closer to? If it's U.S., Russia, and Ukraine, who should he team up against the other? It's U.S. and Ukraine against Russia.
Yes.
But in U.S., China, Russia, it's who? It's U.S. and Russia against China.
Yeah,
but Putin's not playing ball. So if Putin's not playing ball, now he's going to go, okay, you want to do this? Guess what? I'm going to go and develop a stronger relationship with China. And now he's doing this with China, and he's forcing everybody to leave Putin on an island. The one question that you often get asked is the following. Why did Nixon get off the gold standard?
Why?
Why did Nixon get off the gold standard? Do you realize since 1971, every single thing can be positioned back to 1971 when we got off the gold standard? Everything. That just blew up. Everything blew up since 19... But the reason why they did that at that time, and Nixon went and opened up China, there's only one reason why they went and opened up China. In 1970, Rob, can you type up who were the top 10 biggest GDPs in the world in 1970? Adam, Vinny. Who were the top 10 biggest GDPs in the world in 1970?
In 1970, U.S. was number one.
Okay, who's two?
I would put Japan up there. I would put...
Russia? For back then? They're still up there.
I don't know.
Top 10?
Yeah,
He's
they'd
right.
be in the top
Yeah,
10 for
U.S.
sure.
was one.
One.
Japan
Yeah.
was two.
Two.
Look at that, Vinny.
say
Germany,
Germany's up
France,
there, right?
UK,
Oh, wow.
Italy, Canada.
All the
What-
G7 countries.
Canada was
All the
bigger than
G7
China.
countries, yeah.
Think about that. Canada's bigger than China. Go a little bit higher, Rob. Go a little bit higher. There's one country that's not on there, though. USSR. Okay? USSR.
Yeah, of course.
And by the way, USSR
Communism.
was so he's sitting there wondering, what's going on with Russia and the communist regime moving. Nixon decides to go out there and team up with who? Little China.
Yeah.
Wow.
China had the biggest military, but they didn't have the biggest GDP. They go and help China to equalize who? Russia.
Yep.
And what ends up happening? They created the enemy.
Of course.
China got bigger than Russia.
Whoa.
And then China's where it's at today. So to me, Trump right now is trying to do triangular diplomacy. And the better person that would have been a better partner for him to go against China would have been Putin. But Putin's not playing ball. In my opinion, it would have been better for us to be closer to Russia to hold China accountable than the other way around. And it didn't work. And you don't want everybody to be getting along, and you also don't want to have a good relationship with both of the parties because you can't hold the other one accountable. Everybody's ambitious. Everybody's motivated, but he's going through a challenge right now. He's really, the entire time while he's talking, guess who he's talking to? Guess who he knows is watching
Putin.
everything
100%
he's
Putin.
doing, he's watching Putin.
Trump walks out of this clip looking like the winner, but only because the panel refuses to challenge anything he says. It's all hype, nostalgia, and easy geopolitical storytelling. And yes, Putin's watching, but not because Trump shook the world. He's watching because Moscow is figuring out how to turn this to their advantage. If you're enjoying these breakdowns, make sure to subscribe and stay locked in. More sharp political reacts coming up.